Hello, book lovers! I'm Elin Chodakivska. This is Cat Joseph, my fluffy assistant. Welcome on our channel. Today is Sunday and I try to continue my own tradition that I launched a couple of Sundays ago. I've decided to tell you about this or that book, to share my emotions, musings, thoughts concerning this or that book, or I know that it's one of my favorite phrases, or while I'm doing review on this or that book, the books that dropped a huge anchor into my bookish heart. So I'm so sorry beforehand about the noise outside, but our neighbors are doing some constructions or repairs, so I'm so sorry beforehand. Well, today I was balancing between telling you about the book I'm currently reading. This book is absolutely great. It's absolutely a treasure among the books of fantasy genre, but I'm still reading it, and I finally decided that when I finish reading it, I will tell you my complete review, all my full, fresh feelings and emotions concerning this book. Probably it will be in Sunday or in weeks or two. And today I've decided to tell you about the book that I found when we spent our holidays on Cyprus. We were strolling around the old streets of Cyprus, and we ran into sort of a bookshop, but it wasn't only bookshop, it was probably an antique shop with bookish cafe, where you can leave the book you read and choose the book you want to read among those that were in disposal for the bookshop. And at that time I haven't heard anything about the writer, but I saw the book cover, I read the synopsis, and I loved it. First of all, now it's a really popular author, it's well-known writer, and probably it was about 4 or 5 years ago. This writer had already been popular and well-known, but for me it was a discovery, and I really happy that destiny led me to Cyprus, and I found this book and discovered Lisa Rajao for myself. Well, the book cover is so cute and glorious. I read Love Never Changes, Life Does. I loved it. I love this simple but really heartwarming and cute, glorious book cover. A boy, a girl, and the cat. I'm a cat lover, and when I see the cat on the book cover and I read the synopsis that contains something about cat, I'm in, and I give a chance to this or that book that contains these like a sort of ingredients, bookish ingredients. Well, as far as I remember, I started reading this book late in autumn because this book is had a cozy influence on me, and the weather outside that I call cozy, that I call stimulating to create coziness at home. And this book added this coziness because it started raining, it started being gloomy, murky, and so on and so forth. All these autumnal weather. And when I started reading this book, it enveloped me in a warm blanket. I read it with a huge mug of tea, with Cat Joseph close by my side. and I really enjoyed it from cover to cover. The text in this edition is pretty tiny, but still I like swallowed this book. As far as I remember, I read it in 2 or 3 sittings, and what a book it was. So we follow our teenagers, Wins and Joy. They meet each other during their holidays. And they have a sort of a tiny spark of fire between them, but this spark unfortunately doesn't have time to grow into something bigger, because both of young people have to come back to their daily routine and to leave the place they have holidays. But Destiny is a master of surprises and a master of unexpected events. And the Destiny tries to collide young people, showing them different signs, different omens. It feels like a gentle whisper of their destiny that tries to give a hint to young people that probably their encounter during the holidays were like planned, and it was fated. They meet each other. Even though Winds and Joy remain pretty stubborn, pretty blind to any sorts of omen signs of the fate, the Destiny is also pretty stubborn lady. That's why it keeps gluing them together, showing them their mutual paths, and so on and so forth. Well, and one day during one meeting, they like find out that something unexpected is going on, that are why fate is so persistent in colliding them. Well, whether Winds and Joy are going to be together and are going to live happily long after, well, you can find out while reading this amazing, glorious, and really touchingly romantic book. While speaking about the writing style of this gorgeous, glorious, romantic book, even though I adored the book cover and I love the synopsis, it felt really sweet and intriguing for me in a romantic sense, in a romantic aspect. Truth be told, I don't like when the size of the text is so small, but nevertheless, I gave it a chance and didn't regret a second to read this book, because even though the text, the size of the text is so tiny, so small, the writing style is gorgeous. It's so light, it's so enjoyable, it's so like well-paced. I love that the chapters were really short, and at the end of each chapter there was like an unexpected twist, and it grabbed me, it kept my attention. It made me feel, oh, what will happen next, what will happen next to Winds, or what will happen next to Joy, how the events will develop. So every chapter, at the end of every chapter, has its charm to grab your attention and to move on and on and on and on, to find out what will happen in the end of the book. I love this kind and touching twists. There are a lot of them in the book. There are about the characters. There are a lot of characters in this book. Despite the fact that I read this book almost 4 or 5 years ago, I still remember that the number of characters is pretty numerous. But I still can you realize how gorgeous this book is if I still have like this like pleasant and sweet and memorable aftertaste or after this book. I still remember about Joy. I still remember about Wins, about their teenager years, about their transitional period from to the adulthood. Um, all the characters are portrayed unbelievably great. You will feel, at least I felt emotionally connected to all of them from the first pages. So this book, as far as I understand, this book is one of the first ones yeah, by Lisa Javel. And I haven't read this one. I promised myself that I will read the other books by this author, and I had already ordered some of her books, and I will read it, and I will tell you about the one that I ordered. So. One of my favorite quotes in this book, as far as I remember, I had my notepad where I wrote out pretty many quotes from this book, but I found this one when I opened this book, when I decided to tell you about it, and I understood that probably this one was the most memorable, the most striking, and the most important for me at that period of time. Well, freedom came in strange forms and unexpected directions. It's short, but in my humble opinion, it's deep. It's has so many ways to discuss about. That's why that's one of the quotes that I really loved in this book. I'm so sorry, it's my elder son. He came back from his daily walk with his friends, and Cat Joseph came to check him out. Speaking on about this book, well, would I read the other books by this author, by Lisa Javel? Absolutely yes, because this book, despite the fact that it will be 5 years or 4 years ago when I read this book, and I still remember it. I still remember about the characters of the book. I still remember the morals, their lessons, the events. I love this book from cover to cover. I will read you their synopsis. The first one, I love it. I love this motto: love never changes, life does. Wins and Joy are both looking for something. In their teens, in family holidays and bathroom mirrors. In their 20s, in messy London flats and messy London relationships. In their 30s, in marriages that appear stable and feel anything but. 17 years ago, Wins and Joy met, partied, and never said goodbye. And soon they are going to have to ask themselves, could it be that they actually found what they have both been looking for back in the mid-80s in a holiday park by the sea? Well, I do hope that... just take a look here. The cat, the gorgeous red cat with their white chest, and boy, girl, I don't know, this there is something really unique about this book cover. It's simple, but it's really eye-catching. Probably it's only from my perspective, in my humble opinion, but I loved it. You probably noted that I really adored this book from cover to cover. I loved everything. I loved the plot because it's really close to real life, and I know such stories in real life. But Lisa Javel managed to tell this story like a modern fairy tale in some like unique, charming way. I loved the characters. I loved how portrayed they were. I love the writing style. I love the plot. I love that there are a lot of quotes in this book. I loved everything about this book. That's the reason I've decided to tell you about this book, even though it was 5 years or 4 years, I don't remember exactly. I read this book. It's still in my heart. The characters are still in my heart, and Lisa Javel became like my out by writer, as well as Mark Levy, Guillaume Musso, Nesbo, Matt Haig, Lisa. When I see their book by Lisa Javel, I'm saying yes. I mean, I will buy, I will read, I will enjoy it. One more, actually two more books by Lisa Javel that I have that I had ordered. The first one is The Night She Disappeared. If you had already read it, please, I'm really curious about your opinion. Please tell me, did you like it? Did you? Why? If you didn't like it, why? Well, summer 2017, teenage mom Talua heads out on a date, leaving her baby son at home with her mother Kim. At 4:30 a.m., Kim awakens to discover that Talula has not come home. Friends tell her that Talula was last seen heading to a pool party at a house in the woods nearby called Dark Place. Talula never returns. Summer 2018, walking in the woods behind the school where her boyfriend has just started teaching, Sophie sees a sign nailed to a fence, a sign that says "Dig here." Wow, it's scary. It sounds pretty intriguing, captivating, and I really can't wait to dive into this one. As soon as I read it, I will tell you all my musings and fresh thoughts concerning this book. And one more, the book that I ordered a couple of months ago, The Family Upstairs, One House, Two Families, Three Bodies. I have heard so many reviews and so many thoughts concerning this book. They are pretty controversial, but still I do prefer have my own opinion about this or that book. That's why I will read it and then I will share my thoughts with you. Well, be careful who you let in. In a large house in London's fashionable Chelsea, a baby is awake in her cot. Well fed and cared for, she is happily waiting for someone to pick her up. In the kitchen lie three decomposing corpses. Close to them is a hastily scrawled note. They have been dead for several days. Who has been looking after the baby, and who did they and where did they go? Well, it's also creepy, intricate, and utterly immersive, as well as Guardian says. So, I'm also pretty curious to start reading this book, and as well as soon as I read it, I will share my musings with you. But as I've told you, it's only my humble opinion. You probably you had already read it and you didn't like it. It's okay. So many people, so many opinions. So let's respect each other. So these are three books by Lisa Javel that I had. One of them I read and loved so much. These two are waiting for their return, and I do hope I will have time to read them soon. I'm really curious if you enjoy reading books by Lisa Javel. What books have you already read? What books you loved? What books you didn't love? I'm really curious about your opinion, and I'll be happy if you share your musings, thoughts, and reflections concerning this author, her books with me. So, book lovers, I'm Elena Chodakivska. This is Kat Joseph, the great reader, my fluffy assistant. Thank you for dropping by, watching this video, with the hope you will enjoy reading this glorious book as much as we did. See you soon. Bye!